I really don't think most of you all realize how pointless it is trying to date in this new society. I call it the new society because when I look back and I listen to my parents and the elders talk, it's just we live in a new time. Things are always evolving and changing. Great. But where we are now, to me, is like the worst time to try to date or to try to find love or commitment because everybody's so accessible. Everyone's so accessible. Everyone has so many options, and nobody really just wants to settle down. They just want to be entertained. And it's like nobody wants one thing. They want everything, like literally. And I've had this problem with dating. It's like I start trying to date and I just realize people's attention span is so short. And it's like, my dating experiences have been fun. I'm not going to say it's just been all bad, but it's been fun. But I'm very observant and I pay attention to people. People really just want to be entertained. Nobody really just want to go through life with a person.
That is so true. He is spitting facts here. Okay, let's dissect what he said so far. People thinking that they have all the options in the world, that is a product of the internet. That is a product of social media. Because whereas before, you usually dated around the area where you lived. Long distance relationships were very far and few between. And usually if it was a situation like that, y'all met up in real life and then went home and then kept the relationship going. Whereas now, and I can attest to this, Justin and I, we started dating online. We were in a online long distance relationship. I was across the world, all the way in China when Justin and I started dating. Well, I probably shouldn't say dating, talking, because we physically couldn't go out on a date. With that type of access, now it's like your scope has opened up so much, which inherently I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, because if you're able to find your person because your person is in a completely different state or even a completely different country, having that option to be able to go out and seek that person, I don't think that is inherently a bad thing. However, when you couple that with all of this fantasy that you see online, all of these different relationship channels and random videos posting like, oh, my man did this, oh, my girl did this, and it's giving you unrealistic expectations about what a relationship actually looks like. And then people are being brainwashed into thinking that's everyday life. And so when they get into normal, regular, schmegular relationships that don't mirror what you see on these social media apps, this fantastical version of dating or relationships or marriage or children, it goes into all the different areas of life, okay? Not just the dating aspect. But when you see all of that and then you're looking back and taking account of what you have, it's very easy to become ungrateful. It's very easy to think the grass is greener on the other side, but you're not realizing that grass is fake. That grass don't need to be watered because it's fake. It's fraudulent. That is astroturf with some green plastic sprouting out of it. It's not real. It's not based on reality. So you have people idolizing and wanting their love life to resemble something that is fake, something that is fraudulent. And so when it doesn't live up to that, then it's like, oh, well, I need to keep looking. I can find it. I need to keep looking. It's that idea of I can find love. I have options, coupled with this unrealistic expectation of those options. And see, that's where the problem arises. Not necessarily having options, because I do think that being able to find your person when they are across the world is a beautiful thing. When they are across the country is a beautiful thing. However, if your expectations are effed up, then you're going to chase away. You're going to stray away from the person that is for you because you're looking for this unicorn situation that just simply does not exist, especially in this economy. Let's be so for real here. We were just complaining about how we couldn't afford eggs. People were just on here complaining about how their EBT was running out and they was going to start robbing the place. The economy is not set up for all of these, fantastical dates, going to Arias every damn weekend or whatever the case may be. Fleming's, any of these really expensive restaurants, it's not realistic. Okay. Going on week-long vacation, it's not realistic. People have to work. And not only that, relationships have ups and downs. Dating, when you're dating, you have ups and downs. Justin and I, we went through a ton of ups and downs before I even made it back to the United States. But if either either of us didn't have realistic expectations of one another, then our relationship wouldn't have worked. We would have jumped ship at the first sign of some nonsense without even investigating further. It's just like people want everything to be perfect because that's what they're seeing online. And people are confused because when we think of social media, we think that that's regular schmegular people. So if you're thinking that regular schmegular people like you are out here doing all this, then of course you're going to be looking back at your life and be like, well, what's wrong here? What's wrong with what I got? Why isn't my man doing this? Why isn't my woman doing this? Like I said, it's unrealistic because it's based on something that is fraudulent. Whereas before you would see stuff like this on TV, but you knew, oh, that's TV. Someone directed this. This is acting. But when you see social media, you think that's real life. These are real people. We get it kind of confused in our mind because social media was presented to us as being able to see everyday regular schmegular people posting about their life, sharing their experiences. It makes sense why people have these unrealistic expectations and then they go out into the dating market and they're unsatisfied because it's not what they're seeing on social media. It's not what they think the next person has. They think that this is the normal. It's not the norm. It is quite the opposite of normal. Yeah, when people are going on these dates and they don't see it panning out the way that they've seen it online on social media, they're going to look at these relationships under a microscope. Oh, well, he did this, she did that. And then they're not even really going to give that person a chance. They're not seeing them as human. You have to be robotically perfect or else I'm on to the next one because I have all these options and I can go find that. I understand why a lot of people are disillusioned with the dating market, and I'm glad that I'm out of the dating market. I'm sorry. I might be humble bragging right now, but I'm sorry. I'm glad I'm out the dating market. I feel for y'all. I really, truly do. And I hope that if you are out there looking, that you find somebody that also has realistic expectations and y'all match. Because it's crazy out here for what I'm seeing.
Like soon as things get a little boring, they're on to the next. Soon as they have one little problem, they're on to the next. And it's like people are always looking for something better. And you're always like, there's a billion people in the world. You're always going to find someone better. But it's about committing to someone that you start to fall in love with and just living life with them and just being successful together. But it's like nobody wants to do that. Everyone just wants everything now. And if they don't have it now, they're just continuously searching for this perfect thing. Then it's like people just normalize playing around with people. Like, you know how many numbers I've got? And it's like most of the women all behave the same exact way. It's like carbon copies. You'll get the number, you'll text them for a little bit, and then all of a sudden the attention span is gone. And then you find yourself hitting them up more often than them hitting you up, and then it just turns into just cold turkey. Y'all don't communicate at all.
This is similar to what's happening to the babies. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but there's this big push to get the babies to stop watching things like Coco Melon because they have the jump cuts like this, like this, like this, like this. So you find the babies, they're just like sitting here zoned out watching this because their brain is trying to wrap around what they're seeing because the scenes are happening like this. And when you turn it off, they lose their mind because it's very hard to go from seeing things like this, like this, to regular life where things happen a lot slower. You take your time to take in all this information. So it's similar to what's happening with people. When you are constantly scrolling, okay, you watch something for 10 seconds, you scroll to the next, you scroll to the next. People are not sitting and just being. It's like I always have to have that dopamine hit of something new, something new, something new, something new. And we would be foolish to think that that only applies to the media that they consume. No. That is going to infiltrate other areas of your life. So if you are constantly doom scrolling and waiting for that, dopamine hit from a new video, you are dating, when you are out and about, when you're with your family, your body is still fiending for that dopamine hit. Okay. That's why they call people dope fiends, because it's the dopamine in your body that creates that frantic need for something. If you are constantly doing this, inundating yourself with all of these dopamine hits after dopamine hit, it's going to infiltrate how you communicate with other people because you're still going to be be looking for that dopamine hit, that dopamine hit, that dopamine hit. Whereas like in real relationships, a lot of the time is just chill. A lot of it is just downtime, chill, not too much going on, just vibing. But if you're a dopamine, essentially, then that's not gonna do it for you. Every day, regular schmegular activities is not gonna do it for you. Regular everyday conversations just won't do it for you because you're looking for that dopamine hit. I'm gonna be very excited to see all the studies that come out after they've been studying people on social media for an extended amount of time. That's gonna be a very interesting study to read because this is really affecting our society at a large rate. And think about the babies that are growing up on social media. It's gonna be way worse for them because if we are struggling, us older millennials or younger millennials or, Gen Z, if we're struggling this bad and our lives didn't entirely revolve around social media, we had a time beforehand and then the transition into a life lived on social media. Look, if it's attacking us this bad, I hate to see what it's doing to the babies that don't know anything other than social media, that don't know anything other than the internet.
And even for me, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fell victim to this mentality too. Like, I'll get to the point, my attention span is short too now with women. Like, I'll be talking to them and it's just so easy for me to just stop talking to them. It's just so easy for me to just stop communicating with them and I don't lose no sleep. And it's just sometimes you just become a product of your environment. And I'm trying to change that mindset because I don't want to be that person always searching for the perfect thing. And the other thing too that's frustrating is women meet me and they automatically just assume like I have all these women, I'm a player and all this. So it's like, they try to put me in this category of, okay, I'm not going to let him break my heart. And it's like, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't assume a person is doing something when you really don't know. And that's the problem I have with women. They just think I have all these women. And don't get me wrong, I do get a lot of attention from women, but I wouldn't consider myself a player because I don't take advantage of it. If I did, I would have so many bodies under my belt and I would have so many different women. I don't. Because I understand how that can be. You feel me?
A lot of people are walking around and they're hurt. Okay, they are hurt big time. And then they carry that hurt into their future relationships. Now, it's one thing to understand that people play games and to see the signs of it. It's something completely different to look at somebody. You haven't even interacted with them that much. They haven't even shown the red flag behavior, but just because they look good, then you're assuming that they behave a certain way. It's unfortunate because you're writing off people that could be for you just because you're hurt. That's why, like, if you get out of a relationship and that relationship took you through there, you need to heal. You need to go to therapy before you start dating, before you start seeing anybody else. The main thing that you need to do is heal from that relationship and become indifferent to it. That's the part. When you are truly healed from a relationship, you become indifferent. You're no longer upset about it. You're no longer reminiscing or, wanting that situation back. You're indifferent. You couldn't care less. You've actually moved on. But a lot of people don't get to that point. A lot of people are still hung up on their exes, still hung up on their situationships, still hung up on these situations where they've been hurt, and they carry that hurt into their future relationships and start punishing the person that they're talking to or the person that they're dating for the sins of the person that they were with before. And ain't nobody got time to be dealing with that. I'm here to tell you, ain't nobody got time to be dealing with the ghosts of your past relationships. Okay, it wasn't me. You are still hung up on that. You need to go back to that ninja and check them. Somebody that looks good doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna treat you poorly. It's like we have to have discernment and have discernment in the right way. Don't just look at somebody and assume unless they got, the Pookeisha outfit or the Pookie outfit, that's one thing. But, you see a clean cut brother, he's put together and you're like, yeah, he probably gets a lot of female attention. But if his personality is showing that, like the brother said, he's not out here exploiting that attention, taking advantage of it, then that sounds like a solid brother. Okay, that sounds like somebody that you could really talk to and start to settle down with and make things happen with. But you can't get to that point if you're still hurt, if you're still traumatized over your previous relationships. I really feel for y'all that are out there in the dating market. I know it's gotta be tough. Don't give up hope, have discernment, and find other people out there that have similar values to you and then have similar discernment as you as well. But I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down down below. How do you feel about everything that was talked about in this video? Do you agree with the brother that dating is pointless nowadays? Or do you agree with me where it's like, have a discerning mindset, but don't write people off immediately? And then also that social media is the reason why all these problems keep arising. New millennia, new problems. I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the content, like the content. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed out into the algorithm. Also, hype the video. I have that function now. If you're feeling a little extra, extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much. I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.